Hi guys, what's going on? This is Snapcraft and welcome to This is Starcraft English Commentary. Let's continue on with the fight of ASL. This is going to be the next group in line here, group number 8. We're going to be having the finals between TY, aka Baby, and another Chinese player yet again, Fengzi. And actually the score right now is 0-0, not 1-0. I made a mistake there with the banner. But yeah, so very, very nice to have these kind of new faces. And I think that at some point in the future, we need to have this, right? Because these guys, these Korean men are very old. So it's very, very normal that eventually their hands will be kind of old and laggy, right? And, you know, kind of shaking. And new players will be moving forward. Now, Baby is very, very young. So that's something to keep in mind. But Baby versus Feng Zi is his name here. So the first map we're going to be having this fight is going to be Radeon. Let me just quickly give you some information about Feng Zi, so you kind of know who he is. All right, so Feng Zi is a Chinese player, and his Chinese name is Zhang Chunlei. Zhang Chunlei, right? And what else do we know about him? He's born in 1984. He's very old. Very old. He's 41 years old today. And can you believe a 41-year-old dude is playing games, like video games? It seems so unreal. But here he is trying to qualify for the first time in the ASL and would have much better luck compared to his comrade, Mihu. That is something to kind of note. All right, looks like Feng Zi is gonna be seeing this SCV now from TY, and we're gonna be having Zerglings, 4 Zerglings. As for TY, I think he's got his side of the map covered with a Marine, 2 Marine, no, 1 Marine only. And Zerglings are finding out because actually right now Feng Zi still doesn't have any idea what the enemy has built, so he's gonna have to kind of do the guesswork. And now he's gonna arrive here. He will see there are 3 Marines and an SCV. This brand new SCV coming out from TY is gonna try to check inside and try to gather some information. This other scouting SCV has returned, so TY was very lucky not to lose anything at all. We are gonna be having the lair coming up from Fang Zi. But you know, in the previous game TVZ as well, right? It was Lava versus Mihu. I feel like irrespective of the skill difference, I feel like TVZ, the Korean player, when he's a Z player, he's a Zerg, will have a much better chance than if the Korean player was the what's the other race? Was the Terran player? I mean, the foreigner will have a much better chance. Let me rephrase it. The foreigner will have a much better chance if the foreigner is a Zerg player. Why? Because the Zerg player kind of dictate the pace of the game. But right now, we're going to be having TY, who's going to be the one who's dictating the pace of the game now. And let's see how you do it as a Terran player compared to as a Korean player compared to a non-Korean player. It looks like most of the Marines will fall at the last minute, yes. And there's just a single SCV left over. So I guess compared to that Marine rush done by TY, done by Mihu against Lava, TY did a little bit better of a job. But now this SV is going to be falling, and he actually doesn't see the lair. This is a small customization that Feng Zi has put out here because he's trying to fake the possibility that it could be a lurker rush because he's gone for lair, right? But in this case, it's not. It's not. It's going to be just a very standard 2 hatchery mutas, and there's going to be a third base coming up at the 11 o'clock position. We're seeing the drone moving over there, so the game will kind of stabilize and move on from there. Let's see. Let's see what kind of battles we have and how good is the micro of the mutas of Fang Zi compared to Lava. Previous game we've seen Lava was very what is it, proficient, I would say. We're very talented with his Mutilus. And this time around, we're going to be seeing how Feng Zi does it, how the Chinese do it. Of course, in esport, China is still behind Korea in StarCraft, but in the other games, China is like moving ahead. Like I was watching some videos of Chinese robot competition. There's like soccer between robots. There was also boxing between robots. Soon there will be StarCraft between robots, right? Like real robots winning games, not like just becoming the punching bags for humans. But can a robot play a game as complex as StarCraft? because they have defeated humans in chess. In Go, another kind of board-ish game, they've defeated humans. Of course, in every other board games, there's nothing else more complex than Go, right? But StarCraft is different because it's not down to the boards. It's not like you have 64 squares and there's like a number of moves you can calculate and just calculate everything would justify. It's about imperfect information, and imperfect information isn't something that the robots have yet learned to do, right? Because for example, scouting is such a hard thing to do even for humans. How can robots do it? For example, at a specific instant, you need to know what is the possible build. Oh my god, Feng Zi's Mutualist Micro sucked, apparently. For example, looking for the spire, right? At a very, very simplistic way of thinking about it, looking for the spire is what you are. There are only two bases, so you just need to find where the base is and try to look through all the various locations. And you have to follow the creep, basically where the creep is. It's possible to have a spire there, but for example, if in the middle of that you encounter resistance, right? For example, if you are a Corsair and you're running around and you meet some Hydras and you have to turn around, you have to make a decision whether it's worth it to continue and losing the Corsair to get that vital piece of information, or to forget about it and return and try to play with imperfect information by trying to basically do a calculated guess, right? I have scouted about 85% surface area of the creep, and with that I have 85% confidence interval that it's going to be no spire, for example. Those kind of decision making, I feel like it's not possible for machines to do it. I don't know. Theoretically anything is possible, but not basically like a turn-based machine where it's calculating if A then B, if B then C, if C then D, right? It's more, this is where people have talked about holistic versus sequential critical reasoning, right? Holistic is basically what the girls are doing. They look at the big picture and they see everything as a whole, and sequential is what the boys are doing, right? You need to have A and then B, B and then C, D, C and then D, right? This is why when you're having sex, like the boys prefer to have very, very, quiet environment, and they can focus on one act, right? Just moving up and down. Whereas the girls are talking about yesterday's party, asking the guy if she's more beautiful looking in a dress and in a skirt, what color is the right color, whether she's getting fat all the time, blah blah blah, and the guys just cannot keep up with it. So anyways, TY73 supply and these mutual harassments from Feng Zi is not really cutting the job now, and the Marines moving forward it's gonna be slightly problematic. But the Zerg is in modern StarCraft. Zerg is not, it's a mosquito here once again. Zerg is not about destroying the Terran player. Yeah. The Zerg is about surviving until the fighters are out. So that is something to keep in mind. And look at this terrible mutualist. This is like my level of mutualist harassment, and losing Hydras, oh my god. Now they just started to get silly. It was fun, when Mihu was playing, but now it started to get silly. This is like me casting one of those Vietnamese games like a few years ago. I casted one of those Vietnamese tournaments. It was very, very funny to watch. But anyways, the Hydras will be morphed into Lurker just to buy time. There's got to be some Lurkers behind this. Mutuals could also come into support, but I believe the game will end soon. There was already, Stim, but looks like TY is going to pull back. He's going to wait for his 2 tanks, and Defiler Mount is coming out. So there could still be a chance, but without Nidus Canal, I don't know what is going to be able to stop the attack on the left side, but looks like TY is going to assault right here. He doesn't even need to go towards the top right, top left of the screen. He's going to attack right into this right base with his tanks, and he's going to hope to win before the Defilers are out. Another Zerg player would need to be building like copious amount of Sunkens right now, but I guess, Feng Zi doesn't have the luxury of doing that. Why do you have Lurkers hiding in the backside? I don't even know. Anyways, looks like those tanks are going to be trying to siege here, and the Lurkers will have to retreat back into the mineral line. Yes, he will spread out the Lurker, and it looks like there's going to be more, Evolution Chamber maybe? Or maybe more business. One more Lurker has fallen. There's going to be Lurker on the high ground. It would take a while to get these units. He will get a few Marines, but that's it. That's it. So I feel like this is going to be the other game. There's going to be some Scourges coming out, and he's going to be able to help a little bit here. The one Lurker has fallen, more Lurker coming through, and the Firebite is here to support. And that is going to be the end of this first game. TY is going to convincingly triumph over Feng Zi. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, buy my coffee and set us going to be doing this soon. Bye bye.